I'm Walker Dre, and welcome to a new series I'm bringing to the channel. It's sort of like a podcast, if you want to call it that, but to an extent it's more of a newscast. What I'll be doing is that I'll be talking about news in games recently. I'll be pulling articles about, news articles about gaming recently, and I'll be talking about them, voicing my opinions, and of course I want to encourage you guys to voice your own opinions about these matters. Because, of course, we're all gamers. We need to talk to each other. So, yeah, that's what this new series is going to be about. I hope you guys enjoy it. So, without further ado, we're going to go with our first topic, the state of the Wii U in 2015. Now, I'm not going to be reading the articles myself. I'll just be reading off the header. I'll be reading off the header and talking to you guys about what I think about it. If you want to read the articles, you can always Google it and read up on what the actual article says. But the state of the Wii U in 2015. Now, back when the Wii U was first introduced, everyone was excited about what it was going to be. Everyone thought it was Nintendo's new console that was going to take gaming by storm. It was going to be one of the new next gens, and it was. But it didn't do so well. What people didn't realize was there weren't very many games being released. Developers were still in that phase of wanting to play or wanting to develop old gen PS3 and Xbox 360 and Wii. So gamers all flooded to buy new Wii U's. This goes for other next gens as well, like PS4s and Xbox Ones. Everyone scrambled for these new consoles, and no one really thought, like, hey, what happens if they're not developing a game? Which they weren't for a while. This year, however, the Wii U seems to have made a huge boost in just like how well it's doing. Like with its new release, the Mario Maker, it had Mario Kart 7, or Mario Kart 8, I'm sorry, not too long ago. The Wii U is doing really well now, and I'm glad to see that this first next-gen console is doing so well. This is also showing in PS4, but Wii U is definitely up there. So that's what I think about the Wii U in 2015. Tell me what you guys think about it. On to the next one. I want to say the gaming trends that define 2015. There weren't honestly very many trends in 2015 games. I guess you could say 2015 was the year for shooters and MMOs. If you guys watched one of the last podcasts, I had kept making a joke that all there was out at the moment were space shooters and and MMOs. To an extent, I still think that's right, but there weren't any actual trends. There was always some sort of different game being released, and there still is. But the trends in 2015 did have a small impact on gaming, and it'll definitely have an impact on how we'll see gaming next year in 2016. Hopefully we're all excited for that one, right? So on to the next article. Let me see if I can find it. Wow, there's not going on in news and TV news right now, to be honest. Here we go. An article, Borderlands 3 coming, dev opens new office in Quebec. That sounds like a hint towards a new Borderlands 3. If you guys have seen, like, at least the channel in general, you see there's a lot of Borderlands videos. Like, that's like 80% of the videos on the channel. I really do enjoy Borderlands, specifically Borderlands 2. I didn't play Borderlands 1 myself, and I did play the pre-sequel. I really didn't like the pre-sequel, to be honest. It seemed small, just immature, and not a great game to be Borderlands 2's predecessor. That being said, it wasn't a horrible game, it just wasn't good for Borderlands standards. But a Borderlands 3 game sounds very interesting, because that means more people will, well, it'll probably be a bigger AAA game, which means it'll hopefully live up to how Borderlands 2 was. And how Borderlands 2 was fun, had a really interesting story. Just all around funny and fun to play with friends. I'm really looking forward if there's a new Borderlands 3 game coming out. That'd be awesome. So let's see if we can find another article. I just found one. Not all multiplayer shooters are abandoned in 12 months. That's the name of the article. I don't know about that, to be honest. In the recent year or two, most shooters are just abandoned after a while, like really fast. PlanetSide 2 was really popular. It's still pretty popular, PlanetSide 2. It's a free game on PC and PS4, maybe on Xbox One as well. And it's died down a little bit, to be honest, but it's still okay. Battlefield Hardline was hyped, but that was because DICE didn't tell anyone that wasn't as good as Battlefield 4. Battlefield 4 isn't up as much, and the Call of Duty games, except for Black Ops 3, aren't. It just drops every year. So I don't know about how true that is. It looks like they're talking about Destiny. I'm not sure about Destiny, to be honest. Like, can you say Destiny is a multiplayer shooter? You probably can. Can you say it died down? It definitely did die a little bit. But it's really hard to say how shooters go. Multiplayer shooters are a really slippery slope, especially for developers. That actually leads me on to a topic I've read about the other day. That said, the article's headline read, only multiplayer games should not cost $60. This is mainly focusing towards next-gen gamers now, but there have been so many solely multiplayer games coming out that cost as much as any other AAA game. One, for instance, being Battlefront 3, another one being, if you want to say Hardline, I guess, since the story doesn't matter. And there are others. I can't exactly think of them off the top of my head. But I thought that was very true. Think about it like this. You pay $60 for a game like GTA 5, which has an amazing story, very in-depth, and then for free, you get an extended GTA Online, which is the whole game just packed in with your friends in a 30-player server. If you're on old gens, it's like 15. That's just amazing, and it's only for $60. While on the other hand, you have a game like Battlefield Hardline, which is still $60 to $50 right now, and all people play it for is the multiplayer, and everyone argues that the multiplayer is not that good in comparison to old Battlefield games. Another one would be, say, I'm not sure, I guess it could go vice versa as well, but a lot of people do like story. So if you really want to say it, Far Cry 4 in a way. It had multiplayer, not a very popular multiplayer, and its story wasn't that good. Of course, that you can't blame Ubisoft for that. They didn't know, and they were rushed a little bit with their in development with Unity at the time. But that game cost $60, and the story wasn't really there. So it all depends on how you look at it, I guess. But it is really true. If you're developing a game that's solely multiplayer, it should not cost as much as any other AAA game, in my opinion. So let's go on to the next article. Blaming lag is the my dog ate my homework of video games. I think that's kind of funny, because to an extent that's really true. I've been caught so many times blaming lag for dying in a game. It's debatable whether or not how many times that's true, but that's such a true statement. Like, you just can't use that as an excuse anymore. That's kind of sad, because to a lot of the time it actually is lag that gets you killed. But people overuse that excuse so much that it's not even valid anymore. So let's get on to the next article. Dishonored was such a beautiful game. That's the headline. And you guys should know I love Dishonored. Dishonored was such a good game. I would go back to play it, and I will as soon as I get more memory on my PlayStation. I did go back to play it. I bought the remastered version when it came out on PS4, and I loved it so much. Dishonored is such an amazing game, and I can't wait for Dishonored 2. If you look at the concept art and the graphics for Dishonored, it just looks so amazing, and the gameplay was fun. I gush over that game, to be honest. You guys can tell. That's because I love that game so much. Like, of course, there were problems with it. It wasn't as open world as it was promised to be. The story was a bit flippy, floppity, I guess. Oh God. So yeah, there were a few problems with it, but all in all, it was a really good game. And I cannot wait for Dishonored 2 to come out. So let's go on to the next article. Microsoft sorry for broken Halo games, giving away free stuff. Okay, so this goes, I guess this kind of ties into to Halo 5 being what everyone says is just a horrible game. I'm not completely sure, because I haven't played a Halo game since Halo 3 on my 360, but I've heard a lot of bad things about Halo 5, because ever since it got dropped by, Bungie, ever since Bungie dropped Halo, the games are being shorter and worse. From what I've been told, at least. And Fallout 5's multiplayer was, I'm sorry, not Fallout 5, what am I saying? Halo 5's multiplayer was just so bad for most players. It's such a shame to see that title die. At the very least, Microsoft is making up for it, I think? I would hope so. But yeah, like, Halo 5 apparently had so many microtransactions in it, and was just, like, really bad. It was really disappointing to hear. Of course, I probably wouldn't get into Halo game for a long time, given that it's still an Xbox exclusive, and it probably will always be. But yeah, that's still a bit heartbreaking for an old Halo player. Of course, not a big one, but I did play Halo a good bit back when I was a kid, so. So on to the next one. Let's see. The top 10 best games of 2015. Now this one's entirely opinionated. Like 100%, it's all depends on what you think. Personally, the top 10 games of 2015 are a mix of AAA and indie. I'm not sure when the game Undertale was released, but it's just now getting popularity now. I'm pretty sure it was developed and it was like released in 2015. But that was such a good game, Undertale. It's an indie game, but it's so good. It's a story RPG game. And I love that game to bits. And if you mean only AAA games, I would love to say that Fallout 4 would be up there. Along with maybe, I'm sure a lot of people would say Destiny. A lot of people would say Black Ops 3. I might honestly say, I don't know, one of my top games of this year would probably be, it would easily be Bloodborne. I completely forgot that was a 2015 game, wasn't it? Bloodborne is one of my top 10 games. It's just one of my top 5 games in general, let alone of this year. Bloodborne was an amazing game. So, if you guys wanted to tell me what your favorite games of this year was, please do. I'm very curious to know. So let's get on to the next article. The state of the PS4 in 2015. This is an interesting one, given that I do a lot of PS4, a lot of Sony gaming. So the state of it in 2015, I was just talking to my friends about this not too long ago. Both my friends or like a lot of my friends actually, are really disappointed in how the PS4 is doing. The PS4 and other next gens. But I don't see what the problem is. People are saying they're disappointed because games aren't, good games aren't coming out. And the PS4 is gonna die soon. And we're all gonna be left with Wii U's and Xbox Ones. And I'm like, what? I honestly think that the PS4 is just starting to get into the prime of its life. Like, next year will hopefully be the year where PS4 just has these amazing games that you will wish you had bought a PS4 earlier for. That's my hope, and that's my expectation. If not, then that's too bad. But honestly, I'm not disappointed in my buy for a PS4, and I hope you guys aren't either. For those of you who have obviously bought one. The PS4 is a great next-gen game, or next-gen console, and I recommend you, if you were to get a next-gen, I would definitely recommend a PS4. A PS4. Of course, that wouldn't be everyone's preference, but if you would ask my opinion, that'd be it. So, what would the next article be? What is the greatest indie game of the modern era? As I said, just talked about how much I loved Undertale. I watched another YouTuber play it, and it is just so amazing of a game. I don't know if it's technically indie. I'm pretty sure it is, because it didn't have. I think it got kickstarted, but it was just so good. Of course, there are other indie games. The picture in the article is showing Limbo, which everyone loves to death. People always also love The Binding of Isaac. There are all these indie games, especially now. Titan Souls, Shovel Knight was an indie game before I got picked up by I can't remember the name of the studio. But yeah, Shovel Knight, Titan Souls, Undertale, things like those. Those are all really good indie games, and you can't really say which one's better. They're all really good in their own unique purpose. Like, if you love indie games, then just go and play indie games. Go play whatever you want. I won't stop you. Hopefully no one else will either. If you prefer indie games over AAA, I won't blame you. All games are good in their own right. Oh, crap. So what's the next one? While I wait to get ambushed by reinforcements. Alright, I'm sorry. It doesn't seem like there are any more articles worth discussing about this time. So, this will probably be where I call the video. Thank you guys so much for watching this one. Tell me if you have anything you want me to discuss in the next one. And I just died. Tell me what you guys think about the articles I've talked about. I want to be in a conversation with you guys. I want us all to talk about what our favorite games are, what we think about the consoles and the community. I want us all to have this conversation. Because we're all gamers. We need to talk and communicate. We need to know. This is also how the developers get info for their games, so we can talk to them. So thank you guys so much for watching this one. I will be back with this in probably a week or so when there are more articles coming out for games. So thank you guys so much for watching this one. Subscribe if you enjoyed this video, like it if you enjoyed, and please, I will see you all in the next video. See ya.